Yeah. So I use the thinkers that I use, particularly out of necessity, because of the class I was in. But, however, you know, there were other thinkers in the class we could have gone with. But I think, to your point, that using these thinkers makes it, it undercuts the claim of it being non-traditional. To Kathy's point, and to like Dr. Hussein's book's point, right, Muslims in the Making of America, right, the key point of that book is we've always been here, right, Muslims have always been here. And as Kathy showed, that they have been integral to the fabric of America. Likewise, I wanted to show that what we're calling non-traditional, right, because it's different, is not non-traditional to me. Right, I've practiced Soka Gakkai Nichiren Buddhism for 20 years. It's not non-traditional to the 13 million Soka Gakkai members, and it's not non-traditional to somewhere between 300 and 500 million Buddhists there. So I wanted to, by saying non-traditional, I wanted to highlight the fact that it's only non-traditional to somebody who doesn't know anything about it. Okay. So, right, to us, or to a practitioner, it is traditional. The reason I use Nichiren, because Nichiren well, I feel anyway, Nichiren in the 13th century in Japan, an era called the Kamakura era, was a time where Japan suffered from many famines, social strife, and the changing from one government to the shogunate. And then they faced these invasions from the Mongols. And Nichiren himself, alongside other Buddhist thinkers, claimed that the reason that they couldn't protect the nation was because of an adherence to faulty Buddhist teaching. Now that's like Japanese Buddhist nation making and things like that. But Nichiren was acutely attuned to the suffering of his followers. And so I felt that Nichiren's writings don't get much attention. Right? Nichiren's often thought of like this street corner, this buck wild street corner radical preacher. And because of that, then he gets lumped into a category of thinkers called Kamakura era Buddhists, and there's nothing more need be known about him. I wanted to show that because his philosophy is still being practiced today by movements like Soka Gakkai, Nichiren Shochu, Nichiren Shu, all of these Nichiren organizations. So it's a very current teaching, but it's not explored for these elements of what it can say about trauma theory, what it can say about these things. The reason I use Jennifer Beste and M. Sean Copeland, partially on the M. Sean Copeland front, because in her book, in her article rather, in Fleshing Freedom, she makes significant use of my favorite book, Beloved. Your hands, your hands. And so I wanted to, that book for me, when I had to read it in high school, it just made me look at myself in a new way, made me think about myself as a Black person in a new way, etc. So then to take her work, which is work that I particularly respect, and Jennifer Beste's work, which I think cuts in many ways to the heart of contemporary questions about how grace is mediated, and to look at a Buddhist thinker like Nichiren, whose teachings are among the most popular in the world, yet not explored for these reasons. So I wanted to put them together in this way. And I hope then that will open up more people to look at Nichiren's writings and what's problematic in them and what's not, what's unique, what's not. Does that answer?
Yeah, it does. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I want to thank